you kind of move on to a point that was raised by Representative Ryan. That's the opioid crisis we've seen in our region, in the state, and really across the country. The high level of overdoses. Start with Mr. Taraya. What more might the state be doing? Any ideas you would bring to Hartford if elected to deal with that crisis?
Well, so first with opioids, it's unfortunately the addiction and the epidemic and our problem is a symptom, if you will, a symptom of a root cause that it's a byproduct. So it's a multifaceted issue and solution. It's the treatment needs to be immediate, first off. So for those who have or facing any type of addiction or misuse for controlled substances, it needs to be held immediately. I know sometimes the treatments of like, oh, come back every week and we'll take a look. It's like, no, like we need to actually put these individuals who are dependent and wean them off immediately, because it's detrimental for their health so fast, and for their lifestyle, for themselves and for their families. For the economy, for the ones who are actually trafficking and dealing, they see that this is an opportunity to like have easy, fast money, and it's not. It's like there's other opportunities, other ways, and that's where education comes in. Like we need to teach that these substance abuses are terrible, and wean them off, and say like, no, like this is what you're contributing to society by selling and bringing these into our state. And also giving the resources for our state troopers to maintain that, because I know Connecticut prides itself to be in between the large major hubs of New York City and Boston, and so between those two cities and the ports, there's plenty of contraband coming through our state, and we'd like to have the state troopers maintain, investigate, and be well involved in that to prevent that from continuing. So again, there's multiple avenues to attack this issue, and unfortunately, just taking care of the symptom doesn't take care of the actual disease. So it's a combination of economy, giving people education or purpose in life, giving them jobs. I know, on a side note, our unemployment rate is maintained a nice 3.5%, but it's not that people are looking for jobs. It's the ones who lose their jobs tend to move out of our state and find other places of employment. So it's kind of a miscued number, but it's just to give a better economy, instead of someone saying like, oh, it's easier for me to deal drugs instead of make an honest living.
Those things cost money. Having treatment immediately available.
Yes.
We don't have increased law enforcement. Is that one area you would be willing to spend more money on? Is that something the state should? Or do we have to do it with the existing finances?
Well, for security of our state across the full spectrum is important. So no, I don't want to see a drawback on our security, our law enforcement. I think to see more police work, of having police officers involved in our community more. With regards to correction facilities, instead of punishing those who are for their addiction and their abuse, it'd be great to have them reallocate those funds and have them separated and wean them off of their addiction, and kind of give them a better purpose, repurpose themselves in society and put them back in contributing to taxes and contributing to society.
Representative Ryan, on the opioid crisis, any ideas you'd be bringing back to your next term?
Well, just something that's been close to me ever since I kind of moderated a conference, a panel at a conference a few years ago, and we were talking about the issue in New Hampshire. They kind of warned us that it would be coming and spreading to other states, and sure enough, it ended up in Connecticut. I mean, the same kind of opioid crisis that they were experiencing there. And I mean, with the general, we've taken steps allowing first responders to use Narcan when they find it, to keep folks alive so that they can go through a process of being cured. The fact that we've tried to limit the amount of exposure folks have, the access people have to opioids in the way of prescriptions by limiting the prescriptions. I think the one point that Mr. Taraya makes is the fact that we do have to have more access to beds, substance abuse beds, so people can get the kind of help they need as they're going through this process of trying to get, withdraw from these drugs, and making it, we took the first step of limiting the access, and then we have to take care of the people that unfortunately have circumvented that and have been able to access the drugs and have feeling the repercussions of addiction and what we can do to help them. So I think that is a place I would probably like to see some more money spent, so people can get the help when they need it. Because I've heard a couple of stories of folks going to get help, and it's not being available to them. And the other thing that's been very helpful is we've had a lot of local groups here, and our mental health groups here have been working on this issue, having a lot of forums, trying to better educate people about what's going on in their neighborhoods. I think every town has had some kind of a forum dealing with the issues, trying to make people more aware of it. So more of that would also be helpful. But again, we have to give help on our side by providing them beds so people can get the help that they need when they need it.
Well, we're